Hmm. Hello, what is up? It is your favorite phase once again. Let me just set up this TikTok stuff because we want. Oh, good. Mm, yeah. So let me just adjust this. What is up, people? What is up? What is up? I hope you're all having a good top of the morning or evening or midnight or whatever it is. Um, I just decided to pop up again to show up as consistency would demand, as personal quota demands. Now, today's live session is about my audiobook, or should I say, my framework, which is called the Investor Gravity Model. That is how to pull capital to yourself, which is very important. Many of us have billion-dollar ideas. Many of us have billion-dollar products, or should I say, um, there are few people who don't even have products or even companies set up yet, but they are able to raise hundreds and hundreds of and possibly billions of dollars just by just by talking about the ideas to people. Whereas there is a group of people who um, have the product, have the business, but are unable to attract even a simple single dime. And so this live session is to propagate the need for this framework. As a matter of fact, funny enough, um, whenever I do post about it, funny enough, as the name states, whenever I do post on it on LinkedIn, which of course I'll show you proof, along the line. Yo, we are live. I'll show you proof because proof is important. Proof is imperative. Anytime I talk about the investor gravity model on LinkedIn, within a short span of time, people start engaging, which tells me that there's actually demand for it. However, the problem is, of course, it getting in front of the right people. You feel me? So, um, as quota demands, as necessity demands, as consistency also demands, I will keep pushing it until it gets to the right people because people need this. It's in demand. People can build products, great companies, but at the end of the day, they are unable to have that that aura of pulling capital to themselves. So before I start, I just realized that um, the internet, the good old internet, has been drafting a lot of, should I say, has been collecting a lot of data about this investor gravity model, which, I mean, it's natural for that to happen. And so I'm going to take some time. I know there aren't people here, but I'm just going to do. Wait, as a matter of fact, why don't I? Oh, I think next time I'll add LinkedIn next time. I guess. Just give me a sec. Let me just share the link on LinkedIn as well because I mean, why not? You know. Then I'll be back. Uh, um, it's funny. You do hard things always, and sometimes the simple things elude you. Let me just post this here. I think next time I'll use what's the name, Riverside, to for the purposes of interoperability. Um, Let me just put some freestyle, caption there, and yeah, whoever will see it will see it. Everything is experimentations. So yeah, I think that is. What about Facebook? Let me just try because I like trying stuff. Let me just put it on Facebook as well. Uh, the skill of being able to freestyle on the fly is very, very important. Um, uh, okay, good, 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 good. So I think we are set to go. So as I was saying, um, it is imperative for anyone, or should I say, everyone who would eventually take the entrepreneurial path, the enterprise path, the industrial path, the business path, whatever it is, self-employed, whatever it is imperative for us to have this kind of skill, or should I say, aura of being able to attract capital to ourselves. Only a few people possess this skill, and so this investor gravity model is set. It's an audiobook. No, you don't have to read, you just have to listen. It is an audiobook set, to charter the path or lobby the course for you in terms of being able to have the aura to attract capital. That is to entrepreneurs and the business guys, the business folks here. Now, as I was saying, the internet is a very funny, funny thing. It has been able to, I mean, it's natural. Along the line, it has been able to pull some data concerning this investor gravity model. So I'll take some time not to read everything, but this is this is data drawn by Kroc, that is X. What Kroc actually thinks about the my investor gravity model. It says, and I read, the investor gravity model is a conceptual framework developed by Richard Abra, which is me, yours truly, Richard Abra, managing partner at Cruvon. Cruvon is um, the global sovereignty energy investment fund, and I continue to read. To explain the investor gravity model, it is to explain and guide how capital is attracted in investment and entrepreneurial contexts. Drawing an analogy to the physical law of gravity, the model posits that capital does not move based on traditional factors like business plans or pitches alone, but rather due to an inherent pull or gravitational force created by certain qualities and strategies. It addresses why some founders or ventures effortlessly attract significant investment, often without complete product or extensive experience, while others chase capital endlessly without success. The model flips the conventional dynamic, teaching individuals to build mass that makes capital orbit them rather than begging or pursuing it. So, I mean, there's a lot to read. But I'm not going to bore you with the details because, yeah. And here we have the key principles and the laws that are used. I actually use some 19 laws of investor gravity, which of course you have access to once you get access to the audiobook. It also states the applications and implementations. The model applies to entrepreneurs, fund managers, and sovereign investors seeking to align capital with long-term resilience, particularly in sectors like energy independence, rare earths, grid intelligence, and renewables. And of course, it also gives the implications and critique, you know, because whenever you're doing something, there's always the upside and downside. And the critique here is saying the investor gravity model shifts paradigms from reactive fundraising to proactive attraction, potentially empowering founders and aligning investment with geopolitical resilience. However, its abstract nature and reliance on an audiobook for full details may limit accessibility. Well, that is true in a way, I must admit, but the target audience doesn't see it that way. Critics could argue it overlooks systemic barriers, favoring those already positioned to build mass. Hmm. Well, anyway, that's just about it. So I'll put it there. So, with that said, I move on to what I really, really want to talk about and why it is imperative for you to have a copy of this framework. Now, the investor gravity model, that is how to pull capital toward you without chasing, is a strategic. Well, first of all, let me check whether I'm still on live because sometimes, yes, it is a strategic framework designed to help founders and entrepreneurs attract investment by positioning themselves as the gravitational center of their market. Instead of chasing capital, The model emphasizes creating inevitability through three forces, that is, narrative, certainty, and trajectory. In short, this audiobook helps you build that kind of aura that you need in terms of attracting capital from investors. Now, again, you can explore the model further through three resources. I mean, these resources. It is available on Gumroad. For those of you who want a copy, you can always shoot me, a text, and I'll share the link with you. Um, there are also some breakdowns on my YouTube channel concerning it, and yeah, that's about it. So today we are diving into something that has changed the way hundreds of founders raise capital. That is the investor gravity model. Now, if you ever felt like you are chasing investors, pitching endlessly, and still not getting traction, this is for you. Now, I believe capital raising, or in simpler terms, fundraising should feel like momentum, not friction. The investor gravity model flips the script. Instead of you chasing capital, you become the gravitational center investors are pulled toward. And it all comes down to three forces, like I said earlier on. It comes down to narrative, certainty, and trajectory. Now, let's start with the law of investor gravity. Now, this is the core idea. Investors don't just invest in ideas, they invest in inevitability. Your job as a founder or the leader or entrepreneur is to make your success feel inevitable. That is what gravity here means. When you master it, capital flows toward you. Now, first up, I said is based on three forces, that is narrative, certainty, and trajectory. Now, first up with narrative. This isn't about storytelling, it is strategic positioning. Your narrative should answer why now, why you, and why this market. Second, certainty. Investors need to investors need to believe you will execute. You know, that means clarity, confidence, and proof, not just passion. And third, lastly, trajectory. You have to show them where you are going, not just where you are, because momentum is magnetic. Now, here are some real world examples. I have seen founders who went from being ignored to oversubscribed in weeks just by aligning with these forces. Now, founders who reframe their pitch using the model stand a chance of raising whatever they have to raise because they are able to build that gravity, that aura of gravity to attract capital towards them. And this is not magic; it is gravity. Now, of course, if you want a deeper dive, I have built a full guide, which is coming up shortly, which will be available, and it is packed with whatever you need and all that. And if you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting capital, this is your moment. You have to drop if you can, if you want to, you can always drop questions in the chat. You can hit subscribe if you want, and we'll take it from there. So in short, the investor gravity model is a framework. In short terms, it is a framework designed to help you as the founder, as the entrepreneur, as the business person, to build that mass, that aura, that gravity that will attract capital towards you. Because look, we live in a very funny world, a very very funny world, where you have some people who are, like I said before, some people who are able to reel in capital with just an idea on a napkin. You feel me? It is real. It is not storytelling. It is real. And we have those who have built the product. They have all the credentials. They have the pedigree. They have the product. They have the team, but they are unable to raise even a single dime. It is real. And so this framework is designed to solve be a solution to that problem, that gap that people need filling. And so this framework is here. And of course, like I said, you can find it on Gumroad. I mean, if you're interested, I can always there aren't people here, but that's a good thing. It gives me more time to experiment. If you have if you need a link, to which I can always give it to you. I know if you have any questions pertaining that, because I'm here to answer the questions that you know needs to be answered, and the ones I can't answer, well, I tell you I can't answer them. So in short, the investor gravity model is a framework that is designed to help you build that mass, that aura that you need to attract capital instead of chasing it. Because I'll keep repeating this. There are some people in this world, the world is a very, very funny world. There are some people in this world who are able to attract hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, even billions, just by having an idea of a product or a company on a napkin. It is real. It happens all the time. Whereas there are people who have the pedigree, they have the experience, they have the blah blah blah, they have the traction, they have the whatever team, and they are unable to attract even a single dime. This is not rocket science. It is just plain gravity. Sometimes you just don't have the aura. You just don't have the gravity as a founder, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as an enterprising person to attract that capital. It is what it is, but you can do something about it. You can build that narrative, that certainty, that trajectory, that conviction, that that ability to have that gravity to pull in that capital that you seek. And so if you see my face, if you're seeing my face this very time, it is to introduce, keep propagating the concept of the investor gravity model to you so that you can have a copy and see where it leads you. So I'll be here for a couple of minutes to answer. I wanted to keep this rather very short. I'll be here for a couple of minutes to answer any questions that you do have. Then we take it from there. If I can answer, I will answer. Surely. If I can't, I will tell you I just can't. So uh I'll be here for a moment, just to answer any questions you might be having or you might have concerning these materials that I have shared so far with you. Um, yeah, pretty much that's it. Um, so yeah, I'll be here for a couple of minutes, then see where this leads us. Hmm. Hmm. Uh, there are no questions in because they have on here. We just have one person here. I appreciate you being here, whoever you are. And on here we have zero, which is fine. In the initial stages, these things are bound to happen. But as time goes on, trust me, there'll be thousands and thousands of people on here. So that is understandable. But I'll be on here to answer any questions that might come up. If so, yes. If not, no. Uh, Move forward. Mm. 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 Oh yeah, for those of you on here, this is the cover page of the uh, of the of the framework. Uh, Try to get it stable. I think next time we get it stable. It's called the investor gravity model. Um, hmm, hmm. Well, I think this is stable enough. Yeah. Um, thank you for the support. Thank you so much. It really goes a long way. Um, mm, huh, mm. So I'll be here for any questions. Again, for those of you new dropping in. Uh, for those of you on YouTube, funny enough, relatively, people have access because it's recorded. People actually have access to, I mean, watch it after it's been recorded, which makes sense because of the time differences and all that. But as long as I'm alive, I'll keep pushing and propagating the story because there's a need for people to know about this. Because um, thank you, thank you so much, thank you so much. Um, um, you can get it on Gam Road. I mean, I think I mean now that's now is now only available on. Yeah, I just found it's kind of cool. I just followed. I mean, I just saw the feature on TikTok and I wanted to try it. Me being the guy who always wants to experiment stuff. So yeah. So yeah. It can be annoying sometimes, but it's pretty much cool. So yeah. Um. So um. Um. I understand the time differences, so people are off and on and that on off and on and all that. So it is understandable. However, we have something called recording, so I always keep it on my profile. So whenever whenever anybody has access, the person can just jump on and look at it and see exactly what I'm talking about. Because trust me, this is imperative. It is a material that goes for me as well, because whenever you bring something out, so this is the thing. Whenever I always say this, um, yeah, all the best. I always say this that whatever I put out there is either I am experiencing it or I have experienced it. So it goes for me as well. You know, it's something that I also have to use myself because um, having too much gravity ain't enough gravity in terms of pulling capital or attracting capital to yourself. No matter how much, there's nobody who says no to more capital, or in simpler terms, more. I mean, no to more money or cash in terms of investment and all that. Although there are some bad investments, not all investments are good. So there you have to have the discernment and know that not all capital is good to collect. But my point is, Having too much capital attraction isn't enough capital attraction, if you get it. So these things also apply to me personally. It's something that I have to use myself. And so it's something that's day in, day out. I go back and listen to my own audiobook and try to implement these things, implement it in my life. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much, Daxi, maybe. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ben, thank you for the like. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, this job is very hard, Always talking to people and all that is very hard. Yeah, you have a question, shoot. Um, I mean, if it demands an answer, I will answer. If it doesn't, no. If it doesn't, or I don't know the answer, I'll just tell you I don't know. Um, hmm, it's quiet in here, which is understandable. Mm, mm. Whoever you are, thank you for this low. Thank you for jumping on. Thank you. Um, I just realized I think I need to. Okay, I like this quote. Don't let the fact that I am deeply unserious distract you from the fact that you are in the presence of a genius. People have interesting quotes, eh? Mm, mm, yep. Think next time we'll do this. You know. So that's why it's always good to experiment, to know what works and what doesn't. I think this gives nice ideas for the next session. Mm. Mm. Okay, so it seems the questions are not coming in, which is understandable. Uh, but as time goes on, you have a lot of questions for me. It is understandable. So yeah, these videos will be accessible on the recordings will be, online for those of you subscribe to my YouTube. And yeah, more works are coming up because yeah, it is my duty. It is my duty to do it. So for those of you having access or coming across my YouTube, TikTok, or whatever, you have access to these. You have access to it. I think afterwards, automatically, it will be there, and you can always peruse and know exactly what I was talking about and why you should keep up with exactly what I'm doing. Because trust me, I always say this: whoever follows whatever I'm doing will end up being a very dangerous person. I say this vehemently, you know. So, um, I wanted to keep this session short, and hoping that I receive some questions, concerning the books. The framework that I have introduced to the public. But since that isn't coming, I'll leave you guys for now and return later. And I think, yeah, we'll take it from there. So with that said, stay safe, people. Stay safe. You can always, again, you can have access to the recordings on my YouTube. I think there's one person on YouTube here. I don't know who that is, but whoever you are, thank you, thank you. Trust me. Oh, it's two now. Just when I decided to leave. Um, oh, it's one now, which is okay. So yeah, you can have access to the recordings afterwards, and we take it from there. So I'll see you guys sometime in the future, not so distant future. And yes, and I encourage you. In fact, I implore you. I urge you to have a look at whatever I'm doing online, my TikTok, my LinkedIn, my YouTube. Yeah, those are the ones that I'm pretty much active on. Have access to them, peruse them. I always say, whenever someone shows up with his or her face with the tag of business, investment, leadership, finance, it is imperative for you to do your due diligence, because there are a lot of bad nuts, in the system, who, of course, are always derailing and tarnishing the good works. They are sullying the good works of the people who actually want to do the job. And so I always say, my name is Boldly here. Do your due diligence and know exactly what I know I'm about. And to put everything to recapitulate, to put everything in a summary, my name is Richard Abra. I lead investment firms in the tech startup aligned with national priorities and mandate. That is national security, energy independence, and technological superiority. What that means is I build capital systems. That is all. As simple as that. And it is my duty to fill the one of the most important gaps, in history. That is, we have the generation, which is the old generation, that has all the resources. When I say resources, I'm talking about capital, not money, capital. And we have the younger generation that has the ideas. Ideas is also a resource, but you get what I'm trying to say. That has the ideas, the exuberance to do things. But there is a lack of that bridge to connect these two generations. And I believe that I am the best person to do the job. And by so doing, it means my job is kind of Herculean. It is a difficult one because I have to pay attention to that, and also pay attention to my own journey as well. Which, although sounds hard, it is a bit. It comes with a bit of a minimum. It comes with some minimum difficulty because they both intertwine. They are all in conjunction. They are all in symphony, which with each other. So it makes with each other. Sorry. So it makes the job kind of you know okay to go with. You get it. Albeit a Herculean task, It is something that has this pulchritude, this underlying beauty to it. Being able to talk about finance, investment, business, leadership, and also doing it. It gives me that, that that tantalizing urge, to always wake up and talk about these things. So, on a final note, people who are on here, this is the framework. I think I saw this cool framework. I mean, sorry, I saw this cool feature on TikTok. So it moves according to, it moves in my hand. Those or whoever is on TikTok, you won't see it. So it might look awkward to you, but that's okay. This is the cover page or the audiobook. Search it. If you want a copy, you can always send me what's the name? You can send me an email. It is right on there. You can send me you can send me an what do you call it? For a young guy, I'm pretty much what was it? What's the name? You can send me a message. Yeah, message, through TikTok, even on my LinkedIn and on here. If you whatever you need, if it is a link, no, because I can't put a link here. However, I can put a link on YouTube. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I mean, so for those of you on TikTok, I mean, if you need a link for this framework, again, it is not a book. Audio, although it is an audio book, it is a framework. I know this because it has the characteristics of being something that can be injected into the curriculum of universities, business incubators, startup communities, and even think tanks such as the World Economic Forum and the rest, because of what it does, because of what it does. Think of it like the makings of Ray Dalio's principles, Ray Dalio is a cool guy. I like him so much, Um, so yeah, for those of you who are on YouTube, this is the link to the framework. Um, if you need further, should I say, further details, you can always have access to. I mean, you are late to the party, but if you need further details, you can always have access to this video and see why it is imperative for you to have a copy. And for those of you on TikTok as well, I mean, same. I mean, there are videos on my TikTok. You can always have a look at it. On LinkedIn, my name is Richard Abra. On TikTok, is Richard Abra. On X, it is the same. However, on YouTube, it is Kojo Abra. For some reason, I'm finding it hard to change the name. Not hard, but I do not want to change it for certain reasons. If you know, you know. If you like business, you understand why there is no name change there. So yeah, um, thank you guys so much for being here. I mean, there's been a fluctuation of those. I mean, people joining and all that. So thank you so much for being on here. Moving forward, you have to you can peruse whatever is on my network, that is whatever is on my page. Then you make a decision as to whether to follow up whatever I'm doing or not. So I'm not going to tell you to subscribe no, no, no. What I'll tell you first is follow whatever is on my page. Then if it tickles your fancy, hey Raghav, sorry for butchering your name, Raghav, I'm good, and you? Then based on whatever you see on the page, you make a decision as to whether to follow or not. Because I've come to a very conclusive conclusion. I've come to a very particular conclusion that whatever I'm talking about, it only it only tickles the fancy, or it only appeals to a certain small group of people. That is, if you take 10 people, it is only one or maybe two. Two, I even doubt. It will be only one person who. Oh, okay. Okay, Ragnar. Okay. Uh Rag. Okay. Okay, so simply put, to put it, I'll summarize everything. So this is a framework that, you see, that's the thing. We have some people who have started businesses or startups or enterprises, and they are able to raise sometimes even hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars just by drafting the idea on a napkin from investors. Whereas we have people who have been in business or who have even started business, they have the pedigree, they have the team, they have the products, they even have the businesses registered. But for some reason, they are unable to attract even a single dime in investment. And so this framework was created to be a solution to the latter problem. So in short, this framework, that is, if you should follow through, it helps you build that mass, that aura, that gravity to pull capital, to attract capital instead of chasing it. Many of us, many of us start businesses and we're always chasing investment. I mean, there are other sources of investment, capital, venture capital, or that you can go to a bank for a loan. There are a whole lot, family and friends, a whole lot. But the key concept here is to be able to be someone who has that mass, that aura, to be able to attract capital whenever you start a venture or if you are in a venture. If and I hope that and I hope this is I mean this is the best way to explain it actually. Some people start business. Some even don't even start businesses. They just put the idea down. Of course, there are certain caveat, there are certain factors to it. Maybe where you are found. Maybe when you're in San Francisco, you have a community. Maybe you've built something before. When you want to build something again, you talking to investors is easier. However, there are people who just start with just an idea, they put it on a napkin, and they just have, because they have that gravity. It could be your LinkedIn presence, it could be your YouTube presence, it could be your TikTok presence. Everything, all of these is actually put in the framework. And for me, with the LinkedIn presence, I use law three in this. Whatever I write, I make sure that I have experienced it or I am experiencing it. And so sometimes I even go back and listen to my own audiobook just to update my mental software, which is imperative. So I used some of the laws in the audiobook, and I was able to attract engagements from the past chair of NASA. What's his name? Let me just check. It's always the name always eludes me. Uh, Sorry, let me just check the name. I'll be honest with you. I don't keep the name because uh, um, the ninth the ninth chair of NASA. Mm, I think it's Daniel Golden or something. Oh yeah, I was right. So that's Daniel. Uh, that's Daniel Golden. That is, he served from 1992 to 2001. In fact, he was the administrator of NASA. He's actually the longest serving. Should I say he was the boss? Yeah. I think during the presidency of George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, as well as George W. Bush. So my point is, I'll come back to you. So my point is, I sometimes go back to this framework of mine and try to implement exactly what I've spoken about. And so it is something that I know it works. You feel me? It's something I know it works. And so my goal is to make sure that people, founders, people who are now starting businesses, have that aura. There are some people, when you speak to them or when you hear them speak, just by the mere ways of their articulation, you can tell. It works. It works. So the thing about gravity or capital gravity is it works everywhere. Well, yeah, that's a good one. The thing about gravity is it works everywhere on Earth. So it's not like something that you have to be somewhere. No, no. You know, it works everywhere if you abide by it. Again, let me state clearly. Let me state clearly. It is not like I'm saying it is a foolproof method that I'll be honest with you. I'm not saying that, oh, the moment you listen to it, going forward, you automatically build that aura, build that gravity for you to attract. No, I'm not saying that. I'll be a big liar if I say that. What I'm saying is, if you should follow what it is in that framework, because I use it and at least it works for me. Yes. Um, if you should follow what is in that framework, 7 to 8, I can boldly say 7 to 8 times out of 10, you'll be able to have that gravity. That is if you should follow it religiously and judiciously. Because, like I was saying, I wrote it around some 19 laws that I was able to come up with. I mean, living and moving from Africa, China, North America, you see so many things. So I saw so many things in terms of how investment and all businesses works. You feel me? So evidently, it behoves me to come up with solutions to certain things that I have seen moving around the world and all that. And by just using, so far for me, as the author of the audiobook, I have just been using just one law. That is law 3. you know I mean, I won't talk too much about it, but it's all in the it's all in the framework, it's all in the audiobook. I've been able to use it, and I realized that anytime I use it, I attract engagement. Can you imagine? Sometimes, I have to talk much about this because you just asked. Sometimes building gravity, it can just come from just you 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 drafting a post on LinkedIn in a certain way, you posting on LinkedIn in a certain way, you posting on YouTube in a certain way. You see, that's the thing, and I'm going to dive into social media. I think maybe in future I'll write something about it. Maybe we are in a day and age where we use social media in a very, very funny way. We use social media in a very, very funny way. Can you imagine if I am an investor, and let's say you in future, I don't know, maybe you already have a business, or maybe in future you start. If I am an investor, I will do my due diligence on you. And now, if I type your name, evidently, if you're on social media, your name will show up. I can go on your, because I have the time. Because hey, it is investment I'm talking about here. I have the time, or I'll have the time, or I'll tell one of my associates to have the time and peruse everything on your social media. Why? Because I want to know the sort of person you are. So now forget about CV, forget about I'm talking about all these things because they are all about, building a gravity, and it's all in the framework, how to do it, what to do and all that. It's all in it. I will actually go through, peruse your social media from where whenever you started. Then from there I'll have a typical picture about you as a person, because trust me, you can know a lot about how someone is or how someone thinks just by looking at what the person posts online. It is that you are what you post, you are what you write, you are what you talk about. It's as simple as that. And so for me, an example, if you go on my LinkedIn page, believe you me, believe you me, 9 times out of 10, you will know that I'm someone into investment. You will know that I'm someone in business, someone in leadership, someone in thought leadership, someone in finance. You will know. I can proudly and vehemently say that. I am very confident about, the things about myself, because hey, I have to be. You feel me? So my point is, we live in an age and day where we use social media in a very funny way, because trust me, now you raising capital has nothing, well, sometimes, most of the times, it has nothing to do with your technicals. It has nothing to do with your what do you call it, your degree, your CV, where you went to school, blah blah blah, all those. No. Sometimes just by talking to someone, you feel the urge, like, okay, I like the way this guy speaks. So I am going to wire him, or I'm going to make an investment, just to see where it goes. Now that is the kind of world we live in now. And these things come from your social media, the things you post, um, how you talk, how you articulate. Again, sometimes how you talk, that is also a different topic on its own. My point is, now we live in a world where people can just vibe or follow you just by looking or feeling your aura. It could be how you talk, how you dress, how you look, you know, one thing I know is that wealth has no color. Wealth doesn't it doesn't matter if you are black, you are white, you are brown, you are yellow, it doesn't matter. However, there are certain attributes that we don't pay attention to, that people who have the power to change our lives actually pay attention to. So for me, if I'm making an investment in whatever you are doing, I'll start with your social media, presence, your digital footprint, and check exactly what you have been doing. And from there, I can know the sort of person you are, how you think, how you do things, and all that. I say this, these are all just basics, that I have expanded on, in the framework. And I mean, the one good thing I always keep saying is it is not something that is imaginative. It is something that me as the author, I use myself, so I know it works. And believe you me, I'll be honest with you, it's not as if I'm using all there are about 19 laws in the audiobook. I use some of them and I'm getting the results. So imagine if I use all, you feel me? So my point is, even as the author, I go back and look at it day in, day out, and always keep updating my mental frame, you know. So I'm using what I'm talking about, and I know it works. And how I wish I could flip, how I wish I could flip, I don't know. I can do it on TikTok, but I don't know if I can do it on YouTube. But anyway, maybe moving forward, I wanted to show you proof because I've been doing this, and uh, on at least on 4 occasions I've been having the engagement from the, like I said, if you heard me earlier on, I've been having the engagement of Daniel Golden. Yes, very very interesting man. For those of you who don't know, he is sorry, he was the ninth administrator of NASA. That's the National Aeronautics and Space Administration during from 1992 to 2001, during the terms of George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush. You know, I say this, and let me. No, it's not a silly question. I have a silly, it's not a silly question. As a small game development, I love game. I once met a guy, just by the way, I met a guy, I met a guy, he was just talking to me. It's a very simple game, by the way. He was just talking to me, and then I was like, no, man, he didn't have to tell me anything much more. I just like the guy. And there, if it was plausible to wire him like $2 million, I would have done it. Anyway, so back to your question. As a game looking for fun, would it look bad if I don't have no, it wouldn't look bad. However, you know, it's like eating spaghetti without sauce. You can pretty much eat the spaghetti. There's no problem that there. But adding a sauce is a good complement to it. You feel me? And now, for example, you told me your name is what? Oh, you said like I can call you Vicano, or please forgive me if I'm butchering the name, but I'll go with Vicano because I think that's what is plausible here. So let's say you have like you say, you have a small game development, whatever it is, enterprise, and you are seeking investment, and me being an investor, I don't know you from anywhere. You feel me? The first thing I'll do, and which most investors do, is to do due diligence on you. And by due diligence on online, and online will pretty much pull out your digital footprint, whatever you have been doing online, your YouTube, your TikTok, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, you know them, your X, your Twitter, and all that. So although it doesn't look bad, it helps to have it because no, there are some founders who are not on social media. You feel me? I myself, I don't like being on social media. I don't like it at all. But it has become a prerequisite. It has become a prerequisite of where I want to head to. Because if I come here talking, and you don't know, you don't know me, you don't know whether I'm bad or good, but you can have that judgment if you look at my whole profile on social media. As well as my duty to avail myself to you. So, in short, it is not bad per se, but it helps. It helps for whoever wants to align with you, have a fair picture about you, if you get what I'm trying to say. So it is not bad. It is not typically bad, but it helps if you have that presence, that digital footprint, online, because it helps. It helps for people to tell whether this guy is for real or not. Blah blah blah. What I would suggest is This is my humble suggestion. Try, um, um, I mean, if you can't be on all social media platforms, just take one. Just take one and be. Do things right by it. That is, do it religiously, so that when someone comes across you in future, whatever it is, the person can have a fair idea of what you do and who you are. It makes things easier for the person. Then in future, after you've gained your goal, you can always, you can always delete it. Erase whatever, erase your footprint online and all that. Like I say, I myself, I don't like being on social media. I am not even a social person. I am not. But due to due to the task I've put in front of me as purpose, I have to keep talking to people. I have to keep showing up and all that. Yes, it becomes draining at times. So my point is, it is not bad, but it helps for you to have it. And it's sad how we, the young ones, are using social media. It is sad. Um, so are there any other ways to connect and tell investors about me instead of social media? Oh yes, of course. There are a lot that I can't even finish mentioning. I mean, they can come from your alumni network. I mean, those of you who have gone to colleges and all that. It can come from a friend or a friend. It can come from a family. It can even come from, sometimes it comes from unconventional ways. Maybe a party you attended. No, I'm not trying to be typical here, because these things are not typical. It can come from restaurants you go to, gym clubs you go to. They are everywhere. You get it. But the first point of contact, which of course you have certain control over, is social media. The first point of contact is social media. Because let's say you are someone who doesn't like going out, where else are you going to find someone to talk to even pitch your ideas to, or propose your ideas to? So the first point of contact that you can actually control is social media. And from there, I mean, clubs. And when I say clubs, I mean, these investment clubs. I don't know whether it is available in your area. I don't know. But yeah, clubs, these clubs, friend of a friend, family friends, family relations, school alumni networks, um, and no, yeah, a whole lot that I can't even mention. Sometimes you can literally go out of your room, and even the bus. And also, yeah, you have to keep your ears open as well, you know, because you never know and this goes to me as well. You never know when opportunity can strike, you know. Even as I'm talking, I'm using social media. It could happen that someone came on here who knew a certain investor who was interested in whatever I'm doing. So my point is, you have to expose yourself in a good way. You have to expose yourself to these things. And social media is the first. Apart from that, family and friends, alumni networks, clubs, social networks, even on the bus, just keep your ears open. Just keep your ears open and your eyes open as well. But for a start, social media is at least is it is the thing that you can control mostly, because of the things you post on there. Because you go to certain people's, and I'm not saying I'm puritanical. I'm not saying I'm a purist, because something like my even my YouTube and TikTok, like, um there's a small percentage of something there that has to do with something else. I think I even have music on there just because I like to post. You feel me? Yes, yeah, yeah. But 9 times out of 10, whatever I post is concerning investment, business, leadership, um, venture capital, private equity, that kind of thing, because that is what I am in. So it is natural for me to, I can talk all day about these things because it excites me. It is my purpose, and that is what I am in. And also the other 1% or the 10% level is just things that sometimes I like to experiment, because I like to experiment. You feel me? So my point is, exactly. Important to show your face, be friendly. Because look, you know, for someone to trust you with his or your money, the person, sometimes it has nothing to do with your technicals. It has nothing to do with your degree. It has nothing to do with the school you went, although it counts. It has nothing to do with your so-called pedigree. Sometimes it's just by the way you talk, just by the way your aura is, you know, you know. It is a very, very funny world we live in. That's why I say, at least for social media, you have some control, on how people perceive you and all that. So yeah, and even you can test it out. That you can even use me as a test. If you go on my LinkedIn, I mean, if I hadn't uh, told you before, the moment you go on my LinkedIn profile, you will surmise that, oh, okay, this guy is an investment and blah 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 blah. As a matter of fact, sometimes I sit down and type my name in these AI tools. Microsoft Copilot. I've also used Perplexity. I haven't used Chat GPT yet. I've also used Meta AI. I type my name, and the kind of information it brings out, it makes me happy because it shows that I'm actually living the right digital footprint that I want. So imagine if it was an investor doing it. Because trust me, they do these things. They type your name, they do, for the sake of doing due diligence. Oh, this guy is this and this and this and this. Oh, what's this? Sometimes the information that's is being spat out about me on these AI platforms, sometimes it even scares me. Yeah, because nothing is hidden anymore. So you can imagine if you have social media and you are doing things other than what you want people to perceive you to be. You feel me? So I encourage you to do all these things. And again, it is all in the framework. I'm just summarizing everything for you to know how important it is. This framework is, whenever you have time, just type your name. I don't know how much of social presence you have. Social media or digital footprint you have. Just type your name and see what the algorithms or the AI tools, what they think about you. Because trust me, people actually check these things. They check. So yeah, pretty much that is it. Thank you for the two people who are on here. I always say, because there's no to few people here, I have the opportunity to always experiment. I like to experiment. Being an engineer, I mean, study engineering in China, North America, Africa, you know, I like to experiment. And so, I mean, whenever the numbers are few or zero like this, I'm able to experiment because I know in future, moving forward, there'll be thousands and thousands of people on here. But again, it is a process, it is a step. I believe the more and more you see my face, the more and more you know exactly what I stand for. So it is a process. It is a snowball effect. But as I go along the line, I'll always be dropping the things that I have learned, the things I have experienced, or the things I am experiencing. This way, it makes it relatable, to whoever it should be relatable with or to. I'm not just, imagining things. I'm actually stating what it is. And yeah, pretty much, yeah, that is it. And I think in future, I'm keeping some of the results. I'm keeping all the results to me, actually to myself. As time goes on, I'll be dropping them, one by one, one by one, one by one, and all that. Because trust me, I've been I've been proposing. In fact, maybe one of these I should be dropping the videos. Be proposing to governmental bodies, and all that. Proposing to to premiers and all that. You know, Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. So, I guess the algorithm is trusting me little by little, because this is the thing I've realized. Whenever you're doing something and you understand whatever is going on, you really really don't bother yourself. So this is the thing. If you should check my subscription count, it is very low. I think now I'm about 137. It is low. Um, if you should compare it with the number of, I think I have now like 712 videos or something. you know I make sure to be consistent every day because I know whatever I'm doing, people need it, but it just haven't found them yet. So I realized from my research that Whenever you show up with something business, investment, um, leadership, finance, especially for the way I do it, the way I do it. I'm not saying I'm special, but for the way you know, if you watch one of my videos, they are always straightforward, nothing fancy, just straightforward, just like that. I think the only thing fancy in my videos is that the thumbnails. Anyway, that is not it is not that fancy. I've realized that if you should be in that sort of niche and the way I do it, it will be hard for people to catch on early, which is understandable. However, the good thing is it is evergreen content. So that means whatever I'm talking about today, it is applicable in the next 50, 100 years because it's business and business is business. If you feel me. However, if I started with something like entertainment, I've been experimenting. So, I didn't just wake up and come here. I've been experimenting for years. If I was doing something entertainment related, it will catch fire very soon. Because as human beings, and I am part, as human beings, we are more wired to entertainment. You know, the easy scrolls, the dopamine hits and all that. You know, even me, sometimes I struggle with it. I struggle with it. Hmm. Can you please share your insight with government as you mentioned, focusing on how dealing funding? Uh I don't know exactly what you want, but this is what I can tell you. This is what I can tell you. Um, I'll start this way. If you want to start a business, if you want to start a venture, make sure. I say this because I'll not lose anything. No, who knows? Maybe in future I might even be investing in whatever you're doing. And what you use is you being called an investor when you can't invest in people. If you want to start a business, please and please start a business that is of national priority and national mandate. What I mean by that is take someone who wants to start again. I'm not shading anyone's business. Take someone who is starting a bakery shop, a bakery, and someone who is starting, let's say Elon Musk, who is starting maybe a space, is let's say he's starting SpaceX, right? Although business is business, they all have the same basics. Definitely, the government will pay attention to Elon Musk's SpaceX more than the person who's starting the bakery shop. So my point is, whenever you make the decision that you want to start something, make sure. Of course, you have to start small. It makes sense to start small because you can't start big, you know. Unless of course you are the daughter of Bill Gates. Even though I've been following. By the way, I've been following. No, I like to tell stories because that's the only way you can get glued. Um, I've been following the daughters of Bill Gates, Phoebe. She started FIA, which is a fashion company, and people are saying a whole lot of things there because it's daddy's money and blah 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 blah. But I think the girl is doing brilliant. She's taking initiative because only few people, being the child of Bill Gates, will actually want to start something. But anyway, my point is, when you want to start a business, or I'll answer your question. I'm coming to that. When you want, maybe in the course of me talking, I'll answer it. When you want to start a business venture, make sure that it is of national priority or national mandate. Don't just start any business just because you want to start a business. You can start any business though, but make sure that eventually you end up in a national priority or mandate focused business. Because when it comes to government, see, all the monies we want in the world, it is with the government. All the monies we want, it is with the government. So start or do businesses that government cannot do without. You feel me? Example, I always start by saying my name, Richard Abra. I lead investment firms and the tech startup aligned with national priorities and mandates. That is energy independence, national security, and technological superiority. Now, the firms I lead are actually five: Cruvon, Baronet, Lago, Utonox, and Under Five. It is a whole story. When I was young, I had this framework, so that I'm just using that. Yeah. So Crew One is energy. The government cannot do without energy. Utronox is biotech. The government cannot do without biotech. Um, Lago is defense in space. The government cannot do without defense in space, military and all that. My point is, whenever you are starting things, yes, you can start. I don't know. I'm not trying to discourage you from starting something, maybe whatever. But my point is, eventually, make sure that you find your way into something that is of national priority and mandate. That way, and I'm answering your question. That way, you have access to more funding, because something like the banks, even if you're going for a loan, the banks have criteria of businesses that they like to give money to. The banks don't like things like restaurants, and this is something that I know. They don't like things like restaurants. They don't like things like truck driving. They don't like things like people who are starting. I've forgotten the other one. They like things like technology, things like consulting, things like management, things like construction, those so-called boring businesses, because they are always in demand. You feel me? And even with the boring businesses, if you just sit down and you frame it well, you can actually make it a national priority or mandate business. So my point is, long and short is, um, with funding and all that, if you want, to meander across it easily, and this is no way financial advice, I'm just saying what I know, what I've experienced, what I've come to experience and seen. If you want a relatively um easy, the word easy, a relatively easy, because it's not really easy, a relatively easy um means towards funding and all that, always start with having the end goal of being in a business that is of national priority and mandate. As simple as that. Do not start a bakery shop and say, "Oh, I'll be in a bakery shop. I'll be a bakery shop owner for the rest of my life." No, because let's be honest. I mean, I don't know if bakery shops are national priorities. It is the best example I can think of. So please forgive me if anybody is doing a bakery shop or comes from a family of bakery shops. No, some of us do come from that. You get it. But my point is, you shouldn't stay there. You shouldn't stay there. You should always try to pivot into something that is of national priority and national mandate. Because look, the money is there. There's nothing like scarcity. The money is always there. But most of us are not doing things that will attract it. It's as simple as that. There is never shortage of money. The money is always there. But most of us are not doing or even starting things that will attract that kind of money into our ventures. And honestly speaking, if I were to be the government, I'd rather pump money into military or defense and space than to pump it into, again, a bakery shop. It's as simple as that. You know, I don't make the rules. No, it's the reality. So whatever it is you are doing, make sure at least I mean, you can start small now. And this is not advice. This talk also goes to me personally. Remember, anything I talk about, it has to do with me as well. So I relate to whatever you are asking. Um, Make sure that even whatever you start, just make sure that in the long run you end up with something that is national priority or national mandate based, because the government needs solutions. The government doesn't come up with the government are not supposed to come up with solutions. They can't. It is not their job. The government is not supposed to come up with solutions. It is even in the name. The Latin word "kubana," which means to govern, to control. The government isn't supposed to come up with solutions. It is you, the individual, who wants to be enterprising, that has to come with solutions so that the government will assist you. And if you're coming up with solutions, you have to come up with solutions that the government cares about. It's as simple as that. This is no advice. It is just point blank what I know, what I've seen. So yeah. So with funding, I mean projects and all that, I think first step is always think about creating something that the government cares about. It's as simple as that. Think about things that the government thinks about. This way, there'll be minimum difficulty along the line if you have to access funding and all that. Yeah, this is something I realized later than sooner. So yeah, it's coming from my mistake, and yeah, pretty much that is it. Yeah. That's it. The again, okay. Oh, you're pursuing electronic. Oh, that's good. So I was lucky to start post school. I was lucky to start school very early. I was lucky. So in my home country, I started chemical engineering. I dropped out and I moved to China. And China, I completed petroleum engineering. Then I came to North America for my masters in chemical and biological engineering. So yeah, pretty much, yeah, that's it. Yeah, and unfortunately, I didn't go to school because I wanted to. I don't. I think okay. I'll keep that one. I'll keep that one to myself. Because there's a lot of information. But yeah, pretty much that is it. So please, yeah, yeah. There are a lot of insight that I would love to share, but again, I think the right audiences haven't come around yet. So maybe I'll have to wait a year to whatever, however it takes. On the side, I'm not on the side. I'm also doing whatever I'm talking about. So whatever I'm talking about, it's not something that I'm imagining. It's something that I've seen, my mistakes, and the things I've done correctly and all that. Um, through my years of my first venture was I started my first venture at age 16. First venture was at age 16. That was in senior high school. Or I don't know what you guys call it. High school is the same thing. Yeah. Funny enough. I just to brag a little bit. I was the senior prefect, of my time. You know, I mean, if you got it, you got it. I'm saying so. Even with that, and I was also in the science major. Even with that, I didn't let that stop my 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 pursuit to things I wanted. So age 16, I started a venture with a friend. We started entertainment, by the way. We were into entertainment field. We didn't know, or I didn't know that we were doing the things that businesses do. It was after I came into my 20s, I realized, oh, okay, we actually built a company. So I started with a friend co-founding entertainment, like I said. We called ourselves the Chronic Nation. Uh, I came up with a funny story. He called me one day. That friend of mine was the first guy in our batch who had gone to a studio to record music. So I like music as well. So I just kind of became friends with him. He was in the business department. I was in the science department, and we had a phone call one day, and he will ask me, so what do I want to name? Let's bring up something. What do I want to? And I was like, okay, Chronic Nation. It just came out of nowhere, and we went with it. So yeah, um, we built it. Sadly, it only lasted for a year. It only lasted for no, a year and a half, because I had to travel. I left my home country to China, and at a very very young age. Very very young age, which I'm very proud of. Um, so yeah, we lasted for like a year and a half. I was funding it with upkeep money that was being given to me from my dad. He didn't know about it. And even if he did, it wouldn't bother him because I'm from a business family. So they understand these things. So I'm proud. I'm proud to come from such a family. I'm proud. I always say it. I'm proud. Um, so yeah, I was funding it with my upkeep money. We were able to recruit two of the juniors in the school. Yeah. And I think no, I know we were the most popular, in our school. How I wish I had some schoolmates who could, corroborate or no, testify to this. We were actually the most popular on campus. and probably no, actually the first group and most popular, because afterwards, the funny thing, people always hate when you start things, but eventually they end up, copycatting you. After we came up, people also started bringing up groups and all that. You know, it was a very funny rivalry going on. But hey, it is what it is. So fast forward. I'm here. With all these years, all the mistakes. I know. I think it has, and I'm funny enough. I'm still making mistakes. I am still making more and more mistakes, more and more mistakes. Just last week, I realized I've been making a certain silly mistake for the past 4 years, so I had to rectify it. And then that'll be a story for another day. My point is, the mistakes that I've done has rather opened my eyes to a lot of things. And so this government insight I was sharing is something that you will only know if you start things. You only know if you make mistakes. So yeah, I'm open to share. I mean, share whatever I can share. Uh, I'm open to share um, whatever I can share that has to be shared. And yeah, so yeah, if you get the time, just have a copy of the audio book. I think it will go. I know it will go a long way because I have been using it myself. And it's sure here in India too. We got high school, but more. Yeah, there I sympathize with you. I commiserate with you. That I and unfortunately there's nothing I can do there. But um, I just say I sympathize with whatever you're going on there, whatever you're going through over there. But I do hope that you'll emerge, successful. I know in the long run, because it's imperative that we all succeed. You know. So yeah, I decided to end this, like 30 minutes ago, but I think here I am, talking, talking, talking. So it comes with a gig. You know, I always have to keep talking, 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 because that's the only way you can know what like I really have to share and all that. So yeah, um, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, there are a lot that I will only remember to. So this is how my brain works actually. There are lots that I have to share. I realize that there are a lot I have to share. Um, Considering my very young age, who knows? Maybe I'm plucking from my past life, but there are lots that I have to share. But I can't remember unless you ask me. You know, unless you ask, then um, based on what you're asking, I'll decide whether it demands an answer or not. Then I go on and answer. But typically, there's a lot to share. That's why I always encourage people to follow up with whatever I share on my socials, my LinkedIn, my I like this feature so well. For those of you on TikTok, my LinkedIn, um, my LinkedIn, my what is the name? I keep forgetting. My LinkedIn. Yeah, you told me. My LinkedIn, my YouTube, my Twitter, X, and my TikTok. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you should follow up with whatever I'm doing, you pretty much have the vibe of what I pretty much stand for and all that. So yeah. Um. Yeah, there are a lot of insights. Again, please, I keep saying, if you are going to start, I can't stress this enough. If you want to start, again, this is not financial, business, investment advice. No, 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 no. I am in no shape or form a financial advice. No, 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 no. I am not. I'm just telling you what I've seen, what is working on the ground. If you want to start a business venture, make sure that it is of national priority and or mandate. As simple as that. Because all the monies we are looking for, it is with the government. And the government doesn't offer solutions. The government wasn't established to give you solutions. No, the government doesn't solve problems. It controls things. It is in the name, Kubernetes. I think it's a Latin name or something. Yeah. It means to control, to govern. The government isn't, oh yeah, good. The government wasn't created to create solutions for people, or no. It was created to control, to manage. So the government is like a manager. You, on the other hand, as the individual, it is your duty to come up with solutions. And if you're coming up with solutions, make sure that it is of national priority or mandate. Like I said, the example I gave, if I start a space company, if I am Elon Musk, I start a space company, and you start a bakery shop, however you like to dice and slice it, the government will pay attention to the space company more than the bakery shop. Although they are both businesses, of course, the same principles, or the same basic principles and all that, the government is going to pay attention to the space company. Or military. Oh, if it's military, then oh, it is what it is. You get it. The government is going to pay attention to that. So most of the time, people want to start business. I just hope I'm not a business coach, and I will never be a business coach, never in my life. However, what I can say is, if you watch what I'm going through, you might learn something. You might learn something, because I have my own journey. As I'm sitting here, I'm also looking for my own investments. I'm also looking for, so whenever I speak about these things, you can feel that yes, I'm really passionate about it, because whatever like I say, like I said, or like I keep saying, whatever I'm talking about, I am experiencing it, or I have experienced it, so it comes natural. You feel me? So please, I mean, for the business coaches who say, oh, start a business, they should be saying that you have to start important businesses, because not all businesses are equal. To me to me the important businesses are the so-called boring businesses, and the businesses of national priority and mandate. To me to me and that is to me, because um yeah, because it is what it is. I'll not go too much into that, but maybe another day, another time. So please, yeah, if you want to start business venture, to endeavor to start, you know important businesses that are important to the government, because yeah. However, not all of us can start outright. Just like, let's be honest. I always try to keep a balance, because I have to be, sensitive with the kind of information I give, because I don't know who will have access to this afterwards. Um, you can start you can start something. I don't want to use the word unimportant, but you can start something that you can do for now. Then as time goes on, you graduate, you pivot, you pivot, you pivot. That is how it's been done. You don't start at one place and you stay there. No, you pivot, you pivot, you pivot. But if you have the chance to start something that is important, because I can't put it in here, there are things that are important and things that are not important. Take it or leave it. There are things that are important and things that are not important. So you can even start with something that is not important. Again, that definition is based on your own subjective meaning. Start something that is not important. Then as time goes on, you get the resources, you pivot into something important. If you're lucky to start the latter, that is something that is important, then you take it. And even with that, if you start something important, you can keep pivoting, pivoting, pivoting. Then yeah, you you get the best out of life, because yeah, you bring up solutions, that the government cannot do without. You pretty much unlock, government funding and all that, because hey, the money is there. The money is there. The money isn't going anywhere. It is there. The money is there. However, many of us do not know the things to do to attract these things. That is why I am trying to solve this problem by first starting with my framework. Again, I like proposing things. When you do these things, you always keep proposing and pitching things. I like to propose my framework to people that, hey, you can start from here. You feel me? You can start from here, because whatever is in that audiobook, I am applying it. It also applies to me. And as I move on, as I go on, when I realize that there is an outdated idea in it, I update it. That is how we do things to keep bringing solutions. As a matter of fact, I won't be shocked. I won't be shocked if moving forward, my framework, that is the investor gravity model, that is the reason why we are here today, ends up in the curriculum of schools like Stanford Business School, Wharton, Harvard, MIT, um, UBC, University of Calgary, University of Toronto, all that. I won't be shocked if it ends up there. I won't be shocked because it's actually needed. I know it's needed, it's in demand. I speak so positively and boldly and confidently. Again, these things are all in the framework and I'm just using them, I'm just recycling them. Everything I'm doing is in exactly what I've written. You see, when you're speaking about things about yourself, you have to be confident, you have to be bold because if you should employ a plumber, he comes into your house, you ask him a question, and you're like, oh, he's not sure. Oh, are you going to let the plumber work on your plumbing? No. But if he comes, he shows up and he's confident, even if he doesn't know what he's doing, he can say yes. And you're going to trust him. You're going to let him or her do the plumbing work. It is what it is. So please, like I said, I won't be shocked if I see my audiobook injected into the curriculum of schools. I won't be shocked because it has every right, every characteristic to be on there. It has everything to be on there. And the good thing is, as time goes on, through my mistakes, through my wins, through my losses, I can always keep updating it. So it becomes an everlasting, evergreen, what do you call it, framework that is accessible to whoever wants to have access to it. And pretty much, that is it. I know I've said a lot, but there's a lot to say. But I mean, as time goes on, I'll know exactly where to put these things and all that. So yeah, pretty much that is it. And I thank you. I mean, there are two people on here. I thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much because I mean, regardless, two or zero, I would have still done it because afterwards, this video is accessible to people through recording who want to listen and all that. So yeah, again, if you have any question, because there are so many insights to drop. I mean, you're welcome. There are so many insights to drop. You know, so many things to drop. So many things to drop. But I will only remember to drop them if you ask, because sometimes that's how my mind works. Sometimes someone asks me a question, I'm like, oh, okay, okay. Can you imagine that? Was it the previous sessions? Someone just asked me a question. So my framework, does it apply to uh, quantitative analysis? And I said no. It applies to geopolitics and sovereign investors. That is basically what it applies to. Then after the life, I realized that okay, there's actually a gap in quantitative analysis, and this framework can actually be applied to it. But I didn't think about it. You feel me? So through interactions, those of us who are solution based, solutions minded, we come up with more solutions. Because sometimes you can ask me a question, I'll be like, okay, I never thought about this. Then that's how it is. So in short, you are helping me help you, help myself, help each other, help ourselves. This is how movements are being created or formed. You feel me? I hope moving forward you have access to whatever I'm doing moving forward. You have access to whatever I say because trust me, I like to say good things about myself because why not? I like to say good things about myself because it is imperative that I say good things about myself. I am not wishy-washy about things. Sometimes I might sound arrogant, but I've realized that I always sound arrogant to the people that are not aligned with me or the people who don't see what I see. There's a thin line between confidence and arrogance. Arrogance is thinking you are the only confident one, and confidence is just confidence. There is no explanation to that. You feel me? So anytime I come across someone who thinks I'm arrogant, it means the person is not for me. Because the people who like to see me go where I want to be or go, and who dream that big will not see it as arrogance. So yeah. So I always say, for me, you always hear me saying good things about myself. I'm not wishy-washy, because I know the power of this tongue. I know the power of it. And so I won't be shocked if, or should I say, don't be shocked if, sometime you see me, I might be I might be in Davos, Switzerland. No, maybe talking on the stage of the World Economic Forum or whatever. I know some people have some giddy ideas whenever these things are mentioned because of the founder, how people perceive him and all that. But my point is, I'm just using that as an example. Do not be shocked if you should see me on these platforms. Propagating the frameworks that I think the world should abide by. Okay, abide sounds more of like authoritative or totalitarian. But my point is, I won't be shocked if, or you shouldn't be shocked if you see me on these platforms, you know, um, talking or giving my worldview of how things should be. Because look, there is a big gap to fill. There is a big gap to fill, and you only see it if you are seeing it or if you are looking for it. There is a big gap to fill, especially between the old generation and the new generation. The new generation, we are cooked. It is as simple as that. We are cooked, and 9 out of 10 times we do not care, but we are cooked. You feel me? So it is imperative that the few of us, step out of that comfort and become the bridge, to that, become the bridge, bridging the old generation. That is where all the money is. Again, I keep saying it. There's a difference between money, capital, and funds. Money is just chicken change. Capital, there are two types of capital: capital itself and smart capital. Capital is the power that follows hype. Smart capital is the power that hype follows. And there's lastly funds. Funds is just a combination of smart capital and capital. This is my own framework. You can accept it or not, but this is my framework and it works for me. Example, if you go to the bank, you see, if you go to the bank and you start using languages like money, 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 instantly they put you at a certain rank. But if you start using words like capital funds, they know where to place you. Anyway, that's just by the way. So my point is, it is imperative for the few of us. Are you Gen Z? No, I'm not Gen Z. I am um I'm Gen Y. Yeah, millennium. Yeah, yeah, Gen Y. Or some sites have different definition for X and Y, but I'm certainly not Gen Z. I guess. I guess. I'm not sure. I have to check that later. I guess. So, but for the sake of simplicity, I'll use old generation and young generation. 40? No, I'm not 40. Uh, However, I just look younger than my age. That I can say. I know that to be true. Yeah, but I am not 40. Come on, 40 is too much. Come on, man. You put me at 40. Yeah, I actually look younger than my age. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good. Good. Thanks. So Generation Y is 1981 to 1996. Interesting. But some sites give different. Or Generation Z is okay. 1997 to 2012. And I think Generation Z Alpha will be 2012. Yeah, there's a generation after Generation Z. Many people don't mention it. That's the Generation Z Alpha. I think it will be 20, obviously 2012, going. But anyway, my point is yeah, the generation in fact, as a matter of fact, from Generation Y, Z to Z Alpha, it is cooked. It is cooked. Like it is cooked because um we are in a day and age where things are easily and readily accessible, and so we do not have that mental fortitude, to sit down and uh, ponder, to vacillate ideas. No, we don't have that time. We don't have that energy. However, the few of us who do that will actually become the leaders of our time. It is as simple. This is not rocket. It is as simple as that. It's not rocket science. And it's a good thing too. It is a good thing too, because now in this age, I'm just going off topic a bit, but now in this age, if you put in little effort, you'll be better than most people, because most people, cannot, won't put in effort in whatever they are doing. So now it's a very tricky but also scintillating, exhilarating, time to be in. All those things I had, it is of equal ease as well. So now if you put in small efforts, give it give it probably a decade. No, even less than a decade or so, you are half a decade, you be better than most of the people around you. And so I say all these things, to recapitulate. I say all these things to put it in a nutshell, saying, um, do stuff. You know, I am not a motivation. I can never be a motivational speaker. I can never be an inspirational because I think it's a waste of time. Motivations are one of the biggest scams on earth. One of the biggest scams. You cannot motivate anybody because I can talk, 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 talk. If you do not want to be, yes, if you do not want to be motivated, you will not be motivated. However, what I can say is you can watch something, you can watch someone, what the person is doing, then pick a line or two from that person. That is again, if the person is doing stuff, because everybody can just talk. We can just talk, but there's only a few of us who end up doing stuff. You feel me? So this is not motivation. All I'm saying is just, man, do stuff, and to again to end things, please. If you want to start things, oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I guess so. If you wanna start, I always say this, please. Like, you know, um, I just personally I want to be around people who are building stuff, like people who are building businesses. I just it just tickles my fancy. It floats my boat. And although, albeit presently I might not be in a position to help, um, I like to be in that circle because why not? Because why not? Why not? Because, for example, see what Nvidia, OpenAI, and Oracle, see what they are doing. They are just circulating money. This one will give this $100 billion, and this will take the $100 billion and give it to this, and they will circle it around. It's a money hack. And in the process of doing that, is making the founders or the entrepreneurs included richer and richer. It is a basic money hack. It looks complex from the out. It looks very complex, but it's just a money hack. It's just a money hack. Stocks rise, and evidently, if when stocks rise, the stockholders also become richer, and all that. But my point is, you cannot do this if you haven't started a venture. You see, money. I'll use money, although I hate using the word money. I'll use capital. Capital is so funny that it only goes to places that has a container to contain it. You feel me? Capital only goes to places that has a container to, and that's what we live in. The best container is ventures, is businesses, is empires, is industries, is ventures. Even God, even God herself, I repeat, even God herself, trying to kill my vibe. even God herself, even God herself is a businesswoman. Even God herself is a businesswoman. And if you understand what I'm saying, you understand it. Even there's no need for me to explain. Even God herself is a businesswoman, you know. And so, as a human being, as an entity, as a cosmic entity that you are, you know, please always, I always urge people, if you can, you know, if you can't start a venture, be around people who are doing it. If you can't start a venture, just be around people. And funny enough, there aren't many of us who are starting ventures because we have this preconceived notion about it that it is a red flag because of the risk involved. Look, everything is a risk. Me talking to you right now is a risk. Everything is a risk. Everything is a risk. You know, everything is a risk. So why not, just direct the risk, into sensible, ventures. Again, you are free to choose and do whatever you want, but Do not sit down there and complain about capital when you are not doing things that capital is attracted to. It's pretty much common sense. Capital is a spirit. It is attracted to certain things like business, things like industries. And the good thing is, even if you should fail, again, this is not advice. I'm just saying things that I relate to or with. Even if you should fail, at the end of the day, you end up with experience and you can impart that experience or that knowledge into others who want to do things. You feel me? You know, other than just sitting down there and be, oh, I just don't like people who always say, oh, I wanted to, but you didn't do it. You feel me? You didn't do it. But at least if you should start and you fail, even if you fail, you can say, oh, I started, I did it, and I failed. So this is what I can tell you. This is what I can, give to you. This is what I can offer you insight, about this thing. And there, in that process, little by little, people sort of respect you. If you're someone who can give insight, whatever it is you do, it doesn't have to be business. But if you're someone who can offer insight to someone who's doing something, the person somehow shows you respect. It comes with it. You feel me? So my point is, we should all be doing things, and if you fail, we fail. You know, and I am of the preconceived notion. In fact, I am of the assertion that if you should keep doing things, eventually you will succeed. Eventually you will succeed. It might take 5, 10, a decade, 2 decades, but eventually you will succeed. Eventually. And there's also one thing I've realized. There's always someone watching. People are always watching. People are always watching. You know, that is if you set out to do things, people are always watching, but they might not let you know that they are watching, but people are always watching. So please do things, just do things, and eventually, Zach Sharp, that's a nice name. Hey, what's up? um eventually, yeah, you get there. So yeah, that's all I can say. Just, it's been almost 1 hour 48 minutes. That's pretty much, I just wanted to take time out of my day today and just uh, just speak to the little crowd I have, because why not? And again, I encourage you all to have a look, peruse my page, see whatever is on there. I mean, it's not. I mean, I can boldly say 9 times out of 10, the things I talk about are the things that I must talk about. The 10% or one out of 10 is maybe I'm just experimenting something or whatever it is. Yes. But 9 times out of 10, whatever I'm talking about, uh whatever I'm talking about, I know I have to talk about it. So yes, pretty much that's it. Thank you so much for your questions. And I hope I did well to answer them. Thank you so much. And this video will be available to whoever comes on afterwards. If you come on afterwards, you always have access to it. It is there. It isn't going anywhere. So yeah, I'll have to vanish for now. I have to leave for now. Then I hope to catch you some other time. Some other time, some other time. Then we talk much more. So yeah, stay safe, guys. And yes, you can have access to the video. It's there. It isn't going anywhere. Have access to it. Peruse it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys some other time. Stay safe.